My name is Simone French. I head up the work transformation practice the Google Workspace practice in the Nordics, but I also have a global role for Devoteam G Cloud as work transformation tribe lead for EMEA. So I see a lot of familiar faces here and some new. So welcome, Pablo.
Yeah, and for those who don't know me, I am the CSS lead in EMEA for Google Workspace, so customer success, so post go live. But here in the UK, I'm head of AI and innovation, and also manage the Google Workspace in the UK and customers there. See lots of those friendly faces in this call now. Yeah, so that's me. If you haven't met me already, let's go ahead.
We got some news. I think you're going to present this one.
Yeah, so can I get a show of thumbs up reactions if you've signed up to this already? If not, then it might be a good idea. We are in 7 cities in person. I know it feels really weird to do that after COVID, where we'll go through all the different ways that AI can be used in the business and on large data sets, but also there's definitely a sneaky demo of Agent Space in person there where you can also ask questions and have a play with it after the session too. So if you're not already signed up, please do. I'll be at the London one on the 2nd of April, but if you're in other places, find your nearest location.
So we've got 2 next week, right? So London, Spain, and I'll also be at the one in Stockholm, probably Copenhagen, and also Oslo. So I'll be at 3 of them. So look forward to seeing you there, hopefully.
Great. Okay. Before I go into this is a new topic. Thumbs up anyone who knows or has heard of or knows what Chrome Enterprise Premium is. Has anyone used it or known about it? We've got one thumb up. Okay. Well, in that case, it is relatively new in terms of the Google product space. So Chrome Enterprise Premium. Actually, thumbs up if you know what BeyondCorp is, or you heard of BeyondCorp. Everyone would have heard BeyondCorp before. Okay, so BeyondCorp was kind of merged into Chrome Enterprise Premium. So there's a lot of features that were in BeyondCorp that are now in Chrome Enterprise Premium with a bit of extra. So you can manage Chrome in your environment, as you all know. You can push bookmarks, you can set policies. This is that on steroids. So I'm just going to go to the next slide. There we go. The left-hand side is basic Chrome, so that's the consumer Chrome. That's everything you get out of the box. Then you get Enterprise Core Chrome, so that's with your Google Workspace licenses. It does BYOD, all that stuff. Well, Chrome Enterprise Premium adds a much more advanced layer of protection. So you can set print services, you can stop people from copying from clipboard from one profile to another, you can do web filtering, you can stop URLs from being accessed. You can also manage downloads and scan the downloads that are happening from attached files, so you don't get leakage of files within your business. And so it adds that extra layer of device posture and security on your DLP on your devices. Why am I telling you about this? It's because there is a new offer that is, I don't know how long it'll be around for, but if Chrome and Enterprise Premium is something that you wanted to look at, we can actually provide some freebies. So if you have 200 employees and you are interested in 200 licenses and will apply them, then Google will fund the deployment of them. So setting them up, policies, all that kind of stuff from Devoteam. So if it's something that you were thinking about or something that you wanted to look at to get certified in certain security certs, then by all means do reach out and we can take advantage of this offer while Google provides it. I have a question from Richard. Go ahead.
Hey, Pablo. So when you say freebies, do you mean an introductory sort of evaluation, or do you mean...
No, the deployment.
Just the deployment, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
So they fund the deployment of it, basically. Good. Okay. So do reach out if you've got questions about that. It's a relatively new offering. Cool. Let's see. We've got communication. I want to see who's first. Simone, I'm going to let
think
you
it's
take
me.
these.
All right. Yes, we normally break out the updates into, communication tools. So, Google Chat, Meet, Gmail, Calendar, collaborations, some admin stuff, and normally Gemini. I think we're now combining a bit of the Gemini because it's part of Google Workspace. So we have some of the Gemini stuff here in the communication tools. Makes sense. Okay, so one of the first updates, and which is a great productivity feature, is file summaries in Google Chat. Who's seen this? Thumbs up or hands up? Anyone who's already seen this or used this? Yeah. Good. So it basically means that users can now easily get a summary of their file, so doc slides, sheets within a chat conversation. It's actually showing here on the GIF, but essentially if you share a file in a chat space, you're able to, in the little preview box that pops up, click on Summarize this file button, and it will just break it out into the side panel that's showing it now on screen, and summarize the file. Fantastic, so that you're not actually having to leave the chat space, right? You stay within the same UI. And it's great. I mean, often we're sharing, meeting summaries or, meeting notes, could be a sheet, whatever it is. And normally if you click on that file, it's going to pop out into a separate screen or browser, and it's just means that you don't have to leave chat. You just get a quick update by clicking on Summarize this file. This rolled out from last week. It's an extended rollout, so from the 18th of March. It's available for all the Gemini for Google Workspace license SKUs. But a really important caveat is that you need to have the smart features and personalization turned on, right? And admins can do that by default. There's a default personalization setting for users in the admin console. So that needs to be on in order for this to work. Pablo, you want to add something?
Yeah, I think I'm going to ask another question to maybe the audience to think about is, how do you think this will change what you share? I'll give you an example. So before, you might share a document with the summary of meeting notes in a chat, but maybe now you share a full 20-page transcript because you know that summarize button is there. So actually what you share might be changing as well in terms of how this button works.
Yeah, really good point. New ways of working.
So this is yeah, exactly that. It's a bit of a change in that. But the other point I wanted to check as well is the smart personalization features. So this was a bit of a requirement with Gemini. So if you so thumbs down who has not turned that on by default, or checked if they've turned it on by default but are using Gemini. So you might need go away and do that, because it doesn't just affect this feature, it can affect other features in the side panel for Gemini. Didn't get any thumbs down, so I'm hoping everyone's checked that's on, as it can cause some issues with some Gemini features. Thanks, Simone.
Great. Let's jump to the next one. Yes, another productivity feature is now you have the ability to add Google Calendar based events or content from your emails, right, in Gmail. So essentially, Gemini will detect calendar related content, and it will give you the option in your email to add to calendar. There's a button there that pops up. You can see it in the GIF on the screen. And when you click this option, it's going to open in the side panel in Gmail, and just confirm that the event has been added to your calendar. This rolled out a couple of weeks ago. It was on rapid release from the 10th of March, again available for all Gemini for Google Workspace license holders. But I just also want to mention there is a caveat on this feature as well, right? So at the moment, this one is only available in English at this time. And it also means if you have content, for example, I think many of you probably, like I do, have flights or restaurant bookings or those sort of things, maybe appearing in your emails, in your calendar from your emails. So the add to calendar button won't appear for those emails with already extracted events such as flights or restaurants, right? And another important thing to note is that it doesn't include other guests. So it puts it into your calendar, and then you would need to go in and invite those guests as well. Great. We'll jump to the next one. And I think this is for you, Pablo. This is a big one, an important one as well.
Wall of text. So stop reading it. I'll take you through it. This is just for you to be able to pause on the video if you're watching the recording. Really important change here is the way that Google Vault is retaining data and what it's displaying to users. That's the key takeaway here. So previously, if you had a retention rule in your chat, and then you talk to another customer or another Google Workspace environment like us, for example, and they had a different retention period, which one is it adhering to and who gets what data for how long? So Google's changing the way that that works. So it will adhere to the retention policy of whoever created the conversation. So that's what it's changing to. This is important. So if I create the conversation with one of you guys, my retention policy wins. In respect to the environment. So with that in mind, the data in your vault is not going to be changed. So that's the important point at the bottom. But what users see in chat will change. So they will actually proactively change all previous conversations that started to match this change as well. It's a migration process within Google. So if I started a conversation with you and my retention policy was only a year, any messages you have from me that are a year old, you won't be able to see. They'll be removed from the user's view once they're a year old. Okay, so that's the important takeaway. You can also do some proactive tasks, and you can also do some exports if you're worried. But at the bottom there, it's important to note that the Google Vault policy applied to your users will not lose any access to any conversations, even if they no longer appear in the chat product interface. So the Vault tool is king, if that makes sense. It's a little bit of a difficult one to get your head around. I think the too long didn't read is some users might see messages disappear and they won't know why. This is why. Okay, that's the key takeaway. Okay, good. This one is important for everyone, even if you don't have Vault, because you might be talking to someone who does have Vault. So that's also why it's relevant to everyone. Good. I'm glad we got past that hard one early. I put it up in an early slide so we can get that one out of the way. Should we move on? Let's see. We've got collaboration. Is it me? Yes, I think it is. Oh, okay, guys. This one is a cheeky one. I might get told off for putting this one in here. It is not on the blog. It is not technically public. I hope Google doesn't check this recording. Where it's a sneaky alpha one, but I'm just far too excited not to put it in here. And like honestly, the impact of this one is huge. So what do we have? We have a new feature that is a Gemini feature called equals AI formula. So if you open up Google Sheets, I made a GIF here for you. Was it GIF? We'll argue about how to pronounce it later. In the form here, and you can literally use a prompt as part of your formula in a sheet. So in here, I've got your wonderful NPS scores that you've given me back. Don't worry, they're anonymous. I won't show who. And in here, I've said equals, what is the sentiment of this customer feedback? And then I hit the cell that the customer feedback sits in, and I hit go. And then because obviously it's a lot of prompting, if you do it on a big sheet, you have to tell it to do the actual AI prompt. And then it will go through and just like as if you took that each cell and put it into gemini.google.com, come back with the answer. This is great for feedback and sentiment analysis. This is good for transposing and formatting data. So if you've just got a load of emails that are comma separated in a cell, you can say, separate these emails per column or per row. You don't have to work out a formula. You can just ask AI to do that task. And I'm really excited about how much this is going to make my sheets handling a lot easier. Go ahead, Simone.
Should we put you on the spot and do a demo? Or is there
Oh, I don't know. The demo's going to be the same as on the. I could.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
No.
I'll tell you what. I'll come back to this if we've got time, because I've got other
Yeah.
demos as well. So if we've got time, I'll show you how that works as well. So who has this and how can you use it? So bear with me, because there's a lot of things you need to adhere to. Firstly, if you bought Gemini when it was buyable, if that makes any sense, and you were on the alpha, then you can use this today. If you never bought Gemini and you didn't turn on alpha, then you'll have to wait until it's general availability. So I believe that's, to be honest, it's probably after next, but it will probably be after mid-April or after April. So I'll repeat that again, and you can't turn on alpha today if you didn't have Gemini licenses before. This is a very strange caveat. So yes, if you want to try it, you have to have had licenses in alpha. Just repeat that. Good. We'll come back to that at the end if there's any questions, or we can leave it for a demo at the end as well. Exciting stuff. Oops, I've gone too far. No, I pressed it twice. No, go back. Who's this one? That's me. Okay. Slides. So have a thumbs up if you've ever had this issue where you have put lots of pictures and then maybe an annotation, maybe a flow diagram into a slide, and then all of a sudden you realize you have to put some text on the side, so you have to shrink everything, but then all of the lines go out of whack, and one box that was supposed to connect to another box is connecting to the wrong box because you have to resize it, and you basically have to start from scratch. Well, Gemini is going to fix this by default. It's actually just going to apply to everyone, Gemini or no Gemini. This is going to be a slides feature where it intelligently understands the image, the sizing and what positioning it is, and if you resize that, it will AI resize it to keep the aspects and the look exactly the same. This is a problem I forgot I had. I don't know about you guys. If you asked me what could AI fix, this wouldn't have come to mind. So I'm quite excited to see what that looks like. Yeah. I just saw some comments there. Yes, it's very frustrating when things look like they're moving on their own when you try and move things around. Exactly that. Perfect. So I'm excited to see what that's like, but I'm pretty sure I won't see that impact until that random time I need it. So that's going to be interesting. Looking forward to feedback on that one as well. Good. This is a pretty big one, and I'm going to be honest, I need to test this a little bit more. So Gemini is going to be able to create folders and files according to the context of what you're doing, which I think is pretty good. So let's say in the side panel you've asked, like, what's the what are the outline of a project and what the deliverables and who's in that. So you've got this whole history of conversation in the side panel about a specific project. Maybe you think, okay, I need to start making a folder structure and some files. So you can ask Gemini without even telling it for what name. You can say, create a folder to put all of the contracts for this project. So it will create a folder named, in this case, Project Yosemite Contracts. I haven't told it to make that name, but because of the context of what I'm doing, it's going to make that assumption that it's going to need to name it for the project and put the contract in, or make a tracker for this project. So it will create a Google Doc and it will put a smart chip in there, all that kind of stuff. So actually, this is kind of where, when people said we're going to have AI at work, this is where I was imagining it would be, and now we're starting to get there, where it's going to make files and folders with the context of what you're doing, which is quite exciting. I definitely need to test it a little bit more, though, I think. Thumbs up if you've tried this, actually. Has anyone tried this, and has it been useful? I'm curious. Any thumbs up at all? No thumbs up. I suppose you need to know it exists before you can try it. Maybe it was missed, so let us know if you've got feedback. Yes, we are moving into an agentic era. This is agentic era. It's nerve-wracking. What does that mean? We'll go through that in a minute. Now we're going to get into the boring, not so boring stuff. the non-end user, well, it might be end user impacting, but admin console configurable stuff. So let's go into the depths of this. Thumbs up if you use DLP. Who uses DLP? Oh, got a hand up. There's a passionate hand up. Okay, there's a few. So have you ever thought, man, I wish I could just apply this rule so that it labels things in Mail like it does in Drive? I know this is such an admin thought, I'm sure. But going forward, you'll be able to automatically, and I think it will automatically apply, I need to check, it's based on DLP rule creation. Any rule that you've got will apply to an email. So for example, if you said any documents that have the word cookies can't be shared externally, that rule will be applied to your emails. So any emails or attachment in emails that have the word cookies can have that label attached to the email. What Google's doing here, it's really important actually, what Google's doing here is it's unifying DLP across the services. So you'll see this in chat, you'll see this in Mail, where it's no longer going to be Drive DLP, it's going to be Google Workspace DLP. That's the idea, is you make your DLP rules and it applies to the different services. So you'll see that in this transition here. Thumbs up if you are excited to see your rules apply to Mail now, because I think that's, honestly, I think there's a lot of, yeah, there we go. There's a lot of people that we've got that request from, so that's good. Cool, so watch this space. You'll see that come in. Now, this one's important because I actually misunderstood this when I first read this. So Google Vault now supports the Gemini app. If I go back to when we were rolling out Gemini in the early days to many of these different customers, we actually had this one of the topics was that no one else can read your Gemini prompts. That's now untrue. As of the 7th of February, you can now do matters and searches on Gemini prompts. What is not available is a retention period yet. So still, and it's coming, still Gemini prompts are kept. You cannot delete them, they're just kept forever. But now you can search them in Vault by creating a matter, okay? That's really important. You can create a matter and search prompt in Vault, in the Gemini app, gemini.google.com, but you can't set retention periods or purge them, okay? That's really important. Good, and that's only for the gemini.google.com app, not for the side panel or any of those, okay? Thumbs up if you have already tried this, because I have been experimenting with it only just recently. No, okay. There's a lot of new stuff then, you guys. Like I'm asking, there's very few things that you guys have tried, so I'm keen to see. Oh, I've left this one in here. This is actually from last quarter. I think it's important and relevant enough to repeat. This is actually really useful. The Drive logs only last, I believe it's 60 days. Yeah, the Drive audit logs only last 60 days. So doing an investigation or searching for something that's happened in Drive more than 60 days ago can be problematic. There is the new Google Drive inventory reporting tool, which is a report on all of your Drive content and files. Now, that's a lot of data. It's a big report, so you do need to connect it to BigQuery, but it's super valuable to do this in advance. So don't get annoyed with yourself when you have to do something really quickly and check for a file that's been shared that shouldn't have been, but then you find yourself having to connect BigQuery, set it up, do the connector, do this in hindsight, do this now, get your BigQuery project set up, connect it, so that you don't get in trouble and you can be really reactive later on if you do need to use this tool. So just a heads up, this is a recommendation to get this set up earlier than later. Okay, it is beta as well, so if you do want to use that, we have to request the access to it, but it's very useful. Good. Okay, now we're on to the fun stuff. And you thought we'd already talked about Gemini. So So go ahead, Simone, take us away on the Gemini features.
Okay. And languages, right? This is always an important one. It's been in many features were in English for a long time. So one of the most asked questions we get is, when is it going to be released in this language? And, happy to say that now Help Me Write Gmail is available in Italian, German, and French. So 3 additional languages for Help Me Write in Gmail, which were released basically at the start of this week on the 24th of March. For web and Android, slightly different, for web, Android and iOS, slightly different release dates, and they are on a gradual rollout, right? So web and Android on March 24th, and just a day later for iOS on March 25th. This is already available as well in Portuguese and Spanish. I know we have some, Italian, Spanish speakers in the call, but has anyone tried it? Maybe a thumb up or a show of hands who's tried it in Spanish, or maybe already, German, French, or Italian. Nobody, okay. So yeah, and again, this does require you to have the smart features and personalization turned on. In addition to the language updates in Gemini, side panel for Google Chat and Slides is now available for chat in 7 additional languages. So Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Japanese, French, and Korean. And
you're going to list all the languages. I'd like
to
list all
not
those
for the
languages.
next one. For Slides, 21 languages available. But important to note for Slides is this does not include image generation, right? So that's still in English, but otherwise it's available in these additional languages in Slides. And maybe just also an important reminder on this one, because Gemini in the side panel at least will work according to the language that you have your Google account set to. And just also important to remember, maybe if you're accessing some other Gemini for Google Workspace features that are supported in English only, you'll still need to have your account set to language set to English. But the big news is that the additional languages are being onboarded. I'm particularly excited about Swedish being available in Slides. Been waiting on that one for a while. Has anyone, these were just released, has anyone tested the new language options in chat or Slides?
Trying to see who's
I'm thinking, have you got any Swedes on the call or any Scandinavians? No.
Okay.
No. So, but good if you are a global organization and you have, users with who speak some of these native languages. This will be a welcome addition to Gemini for them. Back to you, Pablo, I think, for this one, Canvas.
This is probably the one I've been looking forward to the most. So if I don't have your attention, this is where I need your attention, because this is actually really impressive. So actually, thumbs up, who's tried Canvas in gemini.google.com? Has anyone tried Canvas yet? Okay, we have a few. Oh, there's only a few though. Okay, so this is going to be big news for you others that haven't tried it. So it's basically changing the way that Google is giving you, or Gemini I should say, is giving you feedback on your prompts. So in the GIF here, I've got an example, which is 2 examples actually. The one that's showing there is make me a simple web page that when I click a button, it shows me who the best partner is for Google Workspace. That's an easy one. I didn't even tell it was Devoteam. Gemini decided that. And then the other one is creating a document. So when you're using Canvas, it's going to let you get feedback on what it's done. So I'll probably demo it actually, because it's probably easier. But if I ask it for a template document, for a template of, I don't know, a project outline, it's going to show me the document it's creating, but then I can reiterate on the side, and then it keeps updating the document on the right, in the canvas, if you like, in the preview screen on the right. The same thing with coding, for example. I can view the code, or I can preview the actual web page it's coded, and I can highlight bits of that code and ask it specific things the bits of code or the bit of the document, which is honestly huge change. This is going to make things like document creation, template management, that kind of stuff a much easier thing to do. And then thumbs up if you've seen, you've got 2.5 Flash experimental that you can try as well. This, can you imagine this with the power of 2.5 coming? It's going to be extremely powerful to create content, review content, look at code, because code generation is actually something that Google is starting to lead on in Gemini. So if you haven't tried it, should I do a quick demo? I think we've got time for a demo, haven't we? Let's do this. Okay. Good. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad that people want to see demos. This is good. Right. Now, please, A, forgive my spelling because that's just not my forte. And B, this is AI. So as every time I demo AI, the caveat is it's unpredictable. So please don't judge me with what happens. So let's ask, you should be able to see Gemini. So you guys have the same, you should have exactly the same. But at the bottom, you see two new buttons. You see a deep research button and you see a canvas button. The deep research button is the same one as you had up here, and you can select here, but now Google's brought it to the forefront and you can just tap it here instead. Thumbs up if you've used deep research. Anyone use deep research? Oh man, I use this every day. How is no one using deep research? Okay, I'm going to demo that as well. So I'll demo deep research in a second. So Canvas, I'm going to select Canvas. You need to select it. It won't automatically choose to do Canvas. You must select it. And I can say, create a template schedule for when me and my wife have to wash the dishes. Include odd days, no dishwasher. All right, very much just on a whim here. So I've asked it to create a schedule. Look at this of when we are going to do the dishes, and then even days is to use the dishwasher, odd days is not to use the dishwasher. I don't know why you would torture yourself with this. And it's giving you a nice template with the table, and I can see that in here. I can say actually add my name, Pablo, and her name. I wonder if it's going to assume I'm male or female. Yeah. And then I'm going to see it. You should see it. Just edit. There we go. And literally takes the same document it's got and it updates it. So you can do that iterative process while you're looking at it. I don't know about you guys. I was fed up of opening the document, having a look at it. No, that's no good, or copying it. So you can do that within Canvas. And then let's do a new one. Let's do another one for those technical out there. Create me a welcome page for the Devoteam. What's new? Oops, I should probably put that in quotation marks. What's new in Google Workspace webinars with, oops. Yeah, kind of like WYSIWYG. Yeah, it's. I think, I mean, WYSIWYG, you still had to do all the work, right? This one's doing the work, and it's WYSIWYG. What's new in Google Workspace webinars with a sign up button that adds a Google Calendar event for every first Monday of the quarter. Right, this is going to be an interesting one because I've never tried this, and I think Laura was going to be really excited about this. She can start making landing pages for us.
Oh, wow.
So with one prompt, I've just made our new website, Laura, for what's new, and I can have a button that will add, here we go, here's our what's new in Google Workspace, sign up with a one button webinar. If I click that button, it should add to, there we go. I'll add that to calendar. I'll add that to calendar.
I love how it's chosen the branding for Gemini, right? This is the colors, not necessarily our organization colors, but yeah.
Make the website branded to Devoteam by using hot pink.
The boundaries, see if it.
Is it hot pink? Laura's going to kill me for calling it hot pink for Devoteam. Let's give this a go. I'm going to butcher the Devoteam branding. I'm sorry, Laura. But the whole point here is that it's updating live. I can see the code. I can preview it. And it's super fast. Like, I am now a web developer. I'm sorry. There we go. There's your Devoteam branding. And I can highlight certain parts and say, what does this bit do? That's Canvas. I think Canvas just puts the productivity and creation into like absolute speed dial. There you go. So you've got the pop up there that says Ask Gemini. Thumbs up if are you going to be using this? I mean, how could you?
We've already got some users in the chat using it. So for playing a Snake and Pac-Man, and also generate a few web form apps. Yep.
Yeah, I have seen way too many people making games with this. So I would say that's not a productivity gain. Maybe it's the other way around. But guys, give this a go. I saw someone else make a Rubik's Cube solver. Literally takes seconds. So going to make as advanced a website as you like. It's really quite fun. Good. I can't control slides anymore, Simone, because I think I stole presentation. So if you go to the next slide.
Sure.
Okay, pause. So let's go. This is also, I would say, equally as exciting, but not quite as impacting. Oh, deep research. Okay, I'll come back to that. I promise I'll come back to that at the end. Honestly, I could be here all day, like showing you Gemini tooltips. So we'll pause on that one. Thumbs up. Who knows what a smart chip is or a building block? Okay, 2, 3 people. So I won't show you now then because I've got a few thumbs up, but if you're in a Google Doc and you type the @ symbol, it lets you insert meeting notes, tasks, and then assign them, all that kind of stuff. Well, now it's going to let you do that as an AI summary of the document. And it will label it as an AI summary, which I quite like. So I don't know about you guys, but when I open up a document, the first thing I do is ask AI for a summary. So why don't you just do that by default? So before you even send it to someone, you can literally add at the top AI summary, and that is going to be reactive to what you update in the document. So you don't need, you're actually just streamlining someone else's work. When they look at the document, they can just look at the AI summary at the top. I don't know why websites don't do this. I don't know why everyone doesn't do this. I want an AI summary on top of everything, because otherwise I'm going to do it myself. So that's a bit of a time saver there. Yeah, exactly. Exec summaries. This is perfect. It saves you so much time doing that. Good. That's started rolling out 17th of March. You should have that now, by the way. But if you don't, it will be completed by April the 7th. Good. Where are we now? What's next?
You have presenter rights again, Pablo.
I do. Thank you. Okay. Thumbs up if you use Notebook Plus, LM, or just Notebook LM in general. Doesn't have to be Plus. I really expected a rush of thumbs up here. How is there not more thumbs up than this? Like possibly one of the best tools to digest info. So Notebook LM Plus is getting some new features if you haven't already seen them. I think this is a game changer in terms of consuming data. So the first one is a mind map. I really like this. I did not realize it would be quite so intuitive. So it's not just a picture of a mind map, it's an interactive mind map. So here's one I did for the NPS scores again. So you guys gave us feedback. I put all the feedback into Notebook LM, and then I could just break out into what was positive, what was neutral, negative, who the feedback was for, and you can just dig deeper into that, which is really nice. Doing this, by the way, for like really complicated topics, projects, like if you put all the project information into a notebook, then you can find out who the roles are, what the timeline is, all of that just through that visual representation of a mind map. It's actually really, really helpful. On top of that, it's also going to start putting a new output selector for languages. So you can say, actually, I want this output in a different language, and you can select that in Notebook LM+. I haven't used that myself because English is my primary language, but if it isn't, please do try that. I'd be really curious to see what the feedback is. So thumbs up if you've tried this feature, the mind map in Notebook LM. Anyone? No? Okay, go try it. It's actually quite impressive. Good. A little bit more technical one. Thumbs up for anyone who's using context aware. Who uses context aware in here? Even just like a 1 or 2 rules. Anyone set up any context aware? Oh, great. Okay, we've got a few doing context aware. Great. So you'll be happy to know that context aware is now, Notebook LM now supports context aware. So you can add that to an existing context aware rule so that the service can be accessed only on certain devices, etc. if you're corporate. Or you can change the rule or create a new rule for Notebook LM if you wanted to as well. So that's really good. Remember what I said at the beginning of the call. If you've got CEP rules, then a context-aware rule is going to be really useful. So you only want that service to be used within your corporate environment, et cetera, et cetera. Then if you restrict people from opening Notebook LM consumer version, for example, then you can restrict where data goes as well. So that's a really good example of how to use it with CEP. Good. So context-aware for Notebook LM. By the way, it's now Notebook LM is now part of the Google Workspace suite. It now has an SLA. How many of you were aware of this? It's now part of the full suite that you pay for. It's not a consumer app. This is great. Good. Okay, so only one. So just a heads up for everyone else. If you were worried about turning it on, it now has an SLA if you want to turn it on. Good. Oh no, we've got. Okay, well let's before we go into that, let's do the deep research demo. Just for those that wanted to see that too. I'm shocked that not everyone's using deep research. It's fantastic. So let me share my screen. Has anyone got a topic in particular that they would like to see a deep research in? Otherwise, I'm going to go and pick a random one. And it's probably going to be something like toilets or something. I don't know. I can't think of one right now. No? Okay. Well, I'm going to get creative. String theory. Oh, come on. I mean, string theory, if I did that, then we wouldn't even understand what it's researching. We need to be able to understand the benefits. I was going to go do like compare all the snacks that have cheese in them from Tesco. Like, I don't know. Okay.
We have another one from Roberta for SACE vendors or 3D printing.
3D printing. Oh, I like that. Okay, 3D printing is a good topic. So let's say create a report listing all the home set up 3D printers that would be good for someone breaking into the 3D printing world. Provide a comparison. Whoops. Table.
Here's the thing, right? So nothing like having 40 people on a call watching you type something on screen. Right. But you don't need to make corrections, right? Because this is the thing with the Gen AI. It kind of understands the context of what you're saying. So good for non-English speakers, and if you have dyslexia or just fat finger typing, as I call it, which happens to me.
Accessories and tutorials. There we go. Right. So while I do this, I'm going to explain what's going on here. So I've asked for the report. Now, like with anything AI, be as specific as possible. So that's always going to help. I'm going to hit go. Now, while this is doing its research, oh yeah, here we go. So it's going to understand what I'm asking for. So beginner 3D printer recommendations. Perfect. And then it's going to tell me what actions it's going to do. So it's going to research websites. It's going to do step 1, look for the best 3D printers for beginners in 2024, et cetera, et cetera. Build volume, printing technology. So it's actually gone into a bit of research already. great, I'm going to ask it to start that research, please. And then it's going to go away and start doing. Now, while that's happening, I need to explain to you something. Now, thumbs up if you are comfortable with the understanding of the difference between what Gen AI is and agentic AI is. Thumbs up if you can explain that to me. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but if you're comfortable with it. Now, Sandy, you put your hand up, so I'm not sure if you agree with the thumbs up or if you want to explain it, but I'm not going to put you on the spot, so I'm not going to ask you to explain it. But I know there's a few people that are a bit confused, so I am going to go over that real quick. Gen AI is based on a learning model. It only uses the information it has been taught. It's been sat in a classroom, and it only uses the information it's been taught in that classroom, if you like. As soon as it leaves that classroom, it learns no more. That's it. Just what was in the classroom. That means that data can be stagnant. It can be from when it was relevant, when it was taught that, but not anymore. So actually we have a problem, which is finding out like prices for today or content that's updated constantly. We need it to use something like Google search. So agentic AI is where you give it tools. So for example, if I asked Gen AI what 2 + 2 was, and the learning model data said 2 + 2 is 108 because it was on a Reddit forum somewhere, it will be wrong, but it will think it's correct. Whereas if I asked agentic AI what 2 + 2 is, but I gave it a calculator, I gave it Google search, I gave it a few tools, it's going to say that's maths. I need to use a calculator to give you that information. So agentic tool can use tools and have its own decision as to which tool to use when. So deep research is the perfect first example of agentic AI. We've taken Gen AI and we've given it Google search as a tool, and we've said, go make a report. And it's going to go onto Google search and research all of these websites, all of these topics, but it does it based on the last step. So it does the first step, researches it, looks at the information, decides the next step. So it's agentic in its decision-making process of what tool and what next step to take. So if we look down here, it's going to keep going for a little bit longer. You'll see that it makes those decisions accordingly. Good. I don't know how long that will take. So what I'm going to suggest is we go away. Oh, no. Oh, it's done. There we go. So it's now created this large report. Now, I love doing this. I love doing deep research and then putting it into a Notebook LM as part of my Notebook LM information. So that notebook can be fed information from deep research. So it makes it that bit better. And that whole report is going to show you where it found its information from. So you can always check it. But it's extremely detailed based on Google search. There's my table. I can export that to Sheets and I can manipulate that if I need to. I can export this whole report to a Google Doc. So it's really handy there. And there's all the websites it used as well. So that's deep research. Remember, that's perfect when used with Notebook LM as well. It's even better. And that's a form of agentic AI. So if you learned anything today, hopefully that's about agentic AI as well. And I will stop and go back to the presentation there.
And while you do that, I just want to make mention of, now we're talking agentic agents. There's something called Agent Space. It's very new. It's a hot topic at the moment. Laura, our head of marketing, put in a link to an Agent Space event that's happening tomorrow. That's in the chat. So the link is there if you'd like to register for that as well.
Perfect. We do have one more thing very quickly before we wrap up to any questions. Yes, the right people are still stuck around. Do you want to share your
yes,
slides again?
I can. Let me go ahead and do that. I just need to probably click on, here we go.
There we go.
So, where are we? Aha, wait, there is more. So before you jump out of the call, drum roll.
So I don't know. So a thumbs up who was here on the call where we did the competition. Anyone?
It was December.
Yeah,
that
December.
was a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had a lot of internal discussions on this because there was lots of really good submissions. So the brief was to create a generated AI image of your business on a Christmas jumper, and those are the rules. We do have a winner. So just so you know how we chose this, we did this internally. So there's a very big team of hundreds of people internally. We asked everyone to vote within Devoteam as to which was the best image. and we can. Where's the drum roll? We don't have a drum roll. Okay.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to reveal the winner. Go for it, Simone. Who is it?
Oh, okay. Ready? I'll count down 3, 2, 1. And the winner is...
Oh no, there's an extra slide. Quick, go to the next one.
Oh.
Extender retail.
Fabrice, just by pure luck, you are on. I'm so happy you're on this call.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I did. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Do you know what I think you know what it was though? It's the creepiness of the picture that really won it. Like, I mean, the more you look at this image, the worse it gets.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't want to be in a dark street with this zombies, right? So
I mean, look at the eyes. Honestly, I had nightmares while we were doing this voting. Like at the beginning, it looked okay, and then you really start to get worried about the people that work at extended retail.
But I'd love to see it done. This was 3 months ago, right? So I mean, it'd be great to see how it generates now with the.
Yeah, same prompt again.
When it comes to image generation, it feels like it's been doing like so much progress compared to like even like 3 months ago. So yeah,
it does. It looks like a Black Mirror. You're so right. It's a Black Mirror episode, and we should submit this to be the next episode for sure.
In the barcodes, as somebody said. Yeah.
Perfect. So Fabrice, someone will reach out and let you know what you've got. And thank you very much for participating. We're going to have to do another one of these. It won't be this quarter, but maybe in the next quarter or so, we'll do another competition for sure. That was quite fun. Good.
Thank
and
you.
I need to maybe we, unfortunately, because I need to join another meeting, but if there are any questions we can, that we haven't answered, or any, comments or thoughts, let us know. We're happy to hear them.